Earlier I reviewed 100 rank matches to find the top performing weapons and also reviewed best gun recommendation videos from a few YouTubers and came up with these top 5 weapons that are just best in terms of performance and overall ranked meta situation. And now I will show all the gunsmiths as well as loadouts because as I was making the video of the best guns, it was actually super annoying to have to skim through video to find the gunsmith and to make a list. So I just don't want to do the same thing, and in my further videos I will also try to always just do gunsmith first. Like I usually do that for single weapon videos, but even for best loadouts videos I will do this system. And so now let's hop into the weapons and explanations. USS-9 is still the top meta gun, and from 300 loadouts that I reviewed in the 100 rank matches, it had 1/3 of overall appearances in the top 3. And that is only top 3, so if I was reviewing the whole 10, there would be even more of them. Now it did get a nerf to the movement as well as the bullet speed, which does make the gun worse compared to how it was before, but basically it makes you slower, and also the range is not as good as the bullets aren't traveling as fast now. But these things we just kind of push it more towards the mid-range in terms of usability. However, my loadout, for instance, for the USS-9 I have a lightweight and gung-ho. Lightweight gives me faster movement, sprinting, and gung-ho allows me to fire while sprinting and to reload while sprinting and also while sliding. So basically for me the difference in terms of the overall aggressiveness is mild, and the range, well, I personally usually use USS-9 in smaller maps like Nuketown, Summit, Shoot House, maybe sometimes even standoff, but it is a rare occasion. And now I must interrupt this program to show you how I switch the loadout and take down the stealth chopper. And it is absolute must loadout to have with a termite maneuver to take down a stealth chopper or VTOL or gunship, because we all fold quickly to the termite maneuver bullets. And in the current meta their resistance actually was buffed, and I'm making another video about it as well. But it is an absolute must-have. You have to have a termite maneuver loadout. And getting back to USS-9, well, it is still the top meta, like I said. And now we will move to another weapon. Now, technically, despite the Fennec's buff, VMP is still the best aggressive SMG for aggressive playstyle up close. It just has still a bit better range, more bullets, you do not run out of mag as quickly, and it is just more impactful, more versatile compared to the Fennec. And it is still very usable, very meta wow, but there are a few things. So when USS-9 was nerfed, it is no longer a good switch for better accuracy, like I said, like I was using it before. And now I have less reason to just lead the match with VMP, instead of just using USS-9, you know, because there is a lesser difference. But I still like to use the VMP, it is really good. But then there is another problem, which is the introduction of the RAM-7, which is a very nice aggressive assault rifle. Well, I will get to it soon because it is actually in the top 5 as well. But the problem is that the niche where you would use an aggressive SMG is very similar to the niche where you would use an aggressive assault rifle. So they both have a very similar performance. Well, of course, VMP is still more aggressive, has worse range, but RAM-7 has better range, so it is a bit more versatile. You can use it in a larger variety of maps. And for this reason, in the review of top 100 rank performance, I actually had less VMPs this season compared to the previous season due to the RAM-7. And here, again, another interruption. You see how I just destroyed the stealth chopper with termite maneuver. Or what was it? I actually wasn't looking at the screen, but well, I destroyed whatever was there. And to take down a VTOL, it actually only takes 1 mag sometimes, or 2 mags. A gunship can be 2 to 3, depending how undamaged it was when you started shooting. But that is a crucial loadout to have. And now the other gun. Now, in terms of best performance, RAM-7 actually scored better compared to the VMP, but I'm also sorting them in terms of range abilities. And it is a very good aggressive assault rifle. It has a huge mag, also has a pretty fast fire rate, and very decent mid-range. Compared to VMP, it has a lot better mid-range, of course. And the close range, while VMP still tops it, but the added versatility makes it a better choice for ranked play. And like I said, for this reason, it kind of is on a brink, on a verge of replacing the VMP altogether. But if you remember Fennec meta situation when it was like the best aggressive SMG but not top meta, like not the top Fennec days, it was still good on small maps when you wanted to be super aggressive, but usually players just used other weapons, and I think that the same demise is coming to the VMP as well. Well, it is not a horrid consequence, just a conclusion rather. Because BP50, once USS9 gets another nerf and is removed from the meta, not BP50, my apologies, the RAM7, it has potential to actually be the top meta. As for the BP50, RAM7 literally just removed it from meta already. And I made this prediction when BP50 Redux happened. I said do not buy the draw because it will be replaced by the RAM7. So yeah, I was right about this prediction. Unlike the USS9 prediction, because I said that it will be out of meta even this season, but it's still not out of meta. But considering that BP50 got replaced by RAM7 after a couple of seasons, I think that season 10 or like the farthest would be season 11 is when USS9 is going to be gone, which is relatively soon. And RAM7 at the moment it is the second best in terms of performance, so it has everything to become the first best. XM4, the best versatile assault rifle. Now what is the main difference is that it is not as aggressive compared to the aggressive assault rifles, but it has better range potential and still pretty good mid-range and even close-range encounters you can have with it. It has very good ADS tracking, good ADS time. Hipfire is a bit lacking, but you can just bonk enemies with melee, or if they were like wounded you can finish them with the hipfire as well. And the range as well as the big mag and ease of use makes it a very viable weapon in the ranked lobbies, though I would recommend using it solely in mid and long range maps, like do not use it in Nuketown or Summit, that is a bit just stupid. Like I see some players use it and some of them even do well, but you are just putting yourself at the disadvantage with a bad loadout choice. Like if you used USS9, VMP, RAM7 you would be getting more consistent, better results in such case on small map. But in maps like Raid, even Diesel, Standoff, which is kind of a mid-range map, and other similar maps like Firing Range even, you can use XM4 when you want more range, more versatility. Now if you don't need the extra range, just use RAM7. But this is absolutely a very needed niche that is filled by the XM4. Now not long ago we also had Type 19, which had slightly better range but was slower, but then for some reason Activision nerfed it out of meta. Like now it has better range but it's just super slow. And I used to use them both, like I had both loadouts in my top 3 most used weapons. So now I'm just no longer using the Type 19, which is a bit of a bummer because I really liked the Mythic, but it just kind of shows that it is really just gone and you should be using XM4 instead. But what else to say about XM4? Well, there isn't really much, aside of it being the best versatile assault rifle choice that we have. Now unfortunately this match was a defeat, but it was pretty close and I got 40 kills with the XM4. I wanted to show a match where I actually get kills so you can see how weapon performs from different ranges. And I mean it doesn't mean that the gun is bad by any means. And now finally the fifth weapon, the Oden. Now I'm using a range build because with the Ranger barrel it gives me the best accuracy and bullet spread and like range accuracy. And it is ideal in big maps when I want to be super accurate. It also has very good damage. It has the best damage from weapons I think that we have in the game. And it is great. Now the cons would be the mobility. It is slower compared to the XM4, which is why it is not a versatile choice. I would say it is best as a range assault rifle. Or you can try using a different barrel which is not ranger or marksman for better mobility. But then it kind of goes into mid-range area where we have the RAM7, so I just don't think that it is needed now that the RAM7 exists. And it is best to use just for range for optimal accuracy and damage. And it is a very valid choice, but often you will find it be just a bit too slow. And if that happens, just switch to the XM4. And if the range of XM4 is not needed, you want to be more aggressive, switch back to the RAM7. If RAM7 is not aggressive enough and you want to have more close range battles, switch to the VMP. or USS 9. Like I said, at this point you can just choose whichever you want. But there is no such shift that I talked earlier, that if you want more accuracy and range, you use USS 9. If you want more aggression VMP, well, after the USS 9's nerf, it is no longer the case. So you just use whichever you like. And now you see I did stack these top 5 weapons, not only in terms of like overall top 5, as I mentioned, RAM 7 would be above the VMP, but also in terms of usability, in terms of in regard of the range. And like overall performance, but it is also related with the like range that you want to have, with the map size. And that is a thing that many players seem to still overlook. Like, you cannot just use USS 9 in every map ever. I mean, yeah, you can, but you are putting yourself at a disadvantage. You would be doing better with appropriate guns. And this concludes the top 5. I hope that it was useful.